25-year-old Hayley Peel comes from a proud family of Whyalla steelmakers. She counts one man in particular as her inspiration.
Probably my grandfather. Sorry. Yeah. You know, I just don't want to let it go to waste. It's 3 generations and I just want to make him proud.
Her emotion is the culmination of 4 arduous months of uncertainty. The Whyalla plant hasn't been making any steel because of major problems with the temperature of the blast furnace, the heart of the operation.
People down at the blast furnace, they've done like an amazing job. You know, they've done what they can do. But it's also a bit sad because there's been like a trickle of people who have left.
It's another load of stress that workers, townsfolk, other small businesses just don't need at this point in time.
Steel production finally resumed last week, but the months-long outage has cost millions, prompting the state government to undertake contingency planning should the plant become insolvent.
We believed it was a prudent measure to start to prepare for all eventualities, and we now have plans for that, not that we're hoping to execute them.
Can you divulge what they are?
I don't know if that would necessarily be advantageous for the steelworks community more broadly in Whyalla.
This is the spirit of Whyalla, which allowed this town...
Whyalla Steelworks is owned by British industrialist Sanjeev Gupta, who was affectionately dubbed the saviour of steel after rescuing the plant from administration in 2017, along with other ailing steel mills across the globe. Some believe he's been unlucky with the blast furnace, but others point to it being the consequence of an attempt to save money.
There were decisions made by the company to vary the output of the furnace to try and reduce the amount of loss-making steel that was being made. Unfortunately, that plan didn't obviously work out how they wanted it to.
What would you say the finances of the Whyalla plant look like currently?
Challenged.
Care to elaborate?
Not really. I mean, that's for GFG to speak to. This is a privately run company, but clearly they're challenged.
Sanjeev Gupta has blamed poor economic conditions for putting pressure on his global empire, particularly in Europe. But since the murky collapse in 2021 of his key lender Greensill Capital, he's struggled to refinance, and creditors are hassling him for millions they're owed.
It doesn't bode well for a business to be struggling to fund its operations at the very basic level. I've met Mr Gupta and he oozes enthusiasm and optimism. In that sense, he's a great salesperson, but I think the results in Whyalla speak for itself.
Questions surrounding the downfall of Greensill Capital persist. The UK's Serious Fraud Office is investigating the Gupta Family Group alliance over suspicions of fraud, fraudulent trading and money laundering. GFG has denied any wrongdoing. How do you feel about the UK fraud and money laundering probe?
Well, I think it's a very significant investigation, and again, that is something that we pay close attention to. Why wouldn't we?
Sanjeev Gupta declined our request for a sit-down interview. But 7:30 managed to catch up with him last week as he was leaving Whyalla.
Mr Gupta, Ange Donnellan from ABC 7:30. Can I ask you a couple of questions about your visit?
Look, all I can say is that I had a really good day. It was very pleasing to see the progress we made at the plant, and I need to get away. As you know, we're late.
Should we be worried about the viability of the Whyalla Steelworks?
Steelworks is now. I'm very happy. It's in a good journey. It's really heartening to see the progress they made. It's really. It was a good, happy day. So I'll leave you with that.
How much financial trouble is your global empire in?
The South Australian government is owed months of royalties from the Whyalla operations, and local suppliers have faced long waits for payment.
The Steelworks has now got payment plans with most of its creditors. We understand creditors are now providing services, even in instances where they weren't in the past, so that is good and welcome news. But we monitor it closely.
The state and federal governments have promised a combined $113 million to help Sanjeev Gupta realise his dream of transforming the Whyalla steelworks into a manufacturer of more environmentally friendly green steel. But the magnate's previous lofty yet unfulfilled promises of local investment have led to scepticism. Does he have a credibility problem?
Look, owning the steelworks brings with it a degree of attention because it's such an important asset for the country. He has made a number of promises to the local community and I guess industry as a whole. They're promises that we would love to see come to fruition, and we would always encourage that to transpire.
Former Senator and now Jackie Lambie Party candidate for South Australia, Rex Patrick, grew up in Whyalla. He's pushing for a drastic intervention.
I want the plant to go into administration because I can't see any pathway forward where we've got a court-embroiled billionaire who has a chasm between his promises and the actions that he's taken running the steelworks. GFG owes the state government royalties. That gives the mechanism for the state government to put GFG into administration.
We're not going to go into all the options that the government has considered. The first best option is for GFG to rapidly return to financial sustainability, and then we start to see big capital investment into the steelworks, which we know is essential to its long-term future.
Hayley Peel is trying to stay positive. Despite almost 50 non-frontline staff redundancies, steelworkers have been on full pay during the blast furnace outage, which she believes underscores Sanjeev Gupta's commitment to the local operations.
I'm a third generation, I hope to stay there, and if I ever have kids one day, I hope they could work there. So I want it to be there, I want it to succeed for this town.
Do you think Mr Gupta is a good businessman?
Well, look, let's wait and see. We would love to see those promises and those big investments in capital be realised, because that would be a good thing for the country, and we just want to see that come to fruition.